Hey everybody, I'm Father Casey, the pastor of the Epiphany of Our Lord Church, and welcome to our YouTube channel, The Fourth Magi. This week in the Gospel, Jesus talks about the cost of discipleship. He says, a person that is going to build a building doesn't do so without going through the planning process of how much does it cost? Do I have enough money to do this project? Because if they start the project without having enough to make it happen, well then eventually, and we've seen this in the city of Philadelphia, that there are unfinished buildings because they didn't have enough money to finish the building and pay for it. And people think, gosh, what a fool, what an idiot, didn't have enough money to do it, never should have started it. And he says the same thing about going to war. A general doesn't go into war with 300 troops against another army with 10,000 troops, thinking that they're going to win any battles in that war. If they're smart, they're going to realize they don't have enough to win, and so they're going to ask for peace terms. So Jesus is giving really stark examples about, if you're going to follow me, you better know what the cost is. And Jesus understands that to be a Christian, to be a disciple of his in this world, is going to cost us something. It's going to cost us in relationships, whether it's with our family members, or with our friends, or with our coworkers, or fellow students. It's going to cost us something of ourselves. We're going to have to make sacrifices and not always be able to do what we might want to do, but make the sacrifice to do something else. Like, you know what, I'm going to donate to charity. I'm going to donate so much money to charity, even though, you know what, I would like to use that money to buy a new dishwasher, if you will. So we make choices in our discipleship, and so we have to calculate the cost. Now, any company that is, always checking to see if they are doing well, they create a balance sheet, an income statement, a cash flow statement, so that they wonder, how much money do we have? How many assets do we have? How many liabilities do we have? Is this company working? Do we have too many liabilities and we're eventually going to go out of business? Or are we flush with cash and assets and we're successful? How we do that as a Christian, as a disciple of Jesus, is by examining our conscience. Now, that means taking a look at ourselves and asking ourselves, how well are we following Jesus? And so you'll see on the screen this examination of conscience following the Ten Commandments. And so I'd ask you to take a look at it and see, how well am I following Jesus? Am I doing a good job, meaning that my life is filled with virtue and I have a lot of assets as a disciple? Or am I really doing a poor job? And, as I answer the questions, I think, no, I'm not going to church on Sunday. No, I gossip about my neighbor. I steal office supplies. I don't really pay for all the income on my tax return, and so on and so forth. And those are liabilities in the spiritual world. And so if we have too many liabilities, then we need to do something about it if we're going to be a going concern as a disciple of Jesus. So I would ask you to examine your conscience this week and figure out, what is the cost-benefit analysis of being a disciple of Jesus? Is the cost too high for me and I should give up? Well, I really don't want you to give up. I want you to change something if that's what needs to be done. But what needs to happen in my life to realize that, as a going concern, as a Christian disciple, how well am I doing? Is the cost too high, or am I flush with cash and assets as a disciple, and I'm flourishing as a Christian? Hopefully you're doing quite well. God bless you, and have a great week.